Today we have a 2025 BMW M2. In this video, I'll talk about what the refreshed M2 is, how I feel about the interior space, and what it's like to drive it. The G87 BMW M2. People either love it or hate it, but what matters is that, at least on paper, it's the most quintessential BMW we can get these days. It has somewhat compact dimensions, powerful inline 6-cylinder engine under the hood, available manual transmission, and a rear-wheel drive. And even though it's a niche product, BMW is not giving up on it, and they made some changes for 2025. Now, from the outside perspective, nothing has changed besides new color and wheel options. Inside, we got slightly redesigned cabin, but what really matters is that we got more power. So let's start our tech talk with the engine. Under the hood still sits the lovely S58 3-liter turbocharged inline-6, but BMW upped the boost compared to the pre-facelift model, and the motor now makes 473 horsepower, so we got extra 20 horses. Now, depending on the transmission, the torque figures are different. The 6-speed manual has 406 pound-feet of torque, so the same number as before. The 8-speed automatic has additional 37 pound-feet, so 443 pound-feet of torque total. Just as a reminder, the car sits on the CLAR platform, which is BMW's rear-wheel drive modular architecture, and features a fully aluminum strut front suspension and a multi-link setup in the back, combined with adaptive dampers. As a braking system, it is brake-by-wire. We get 6-piston fixed front calipers, single-piston floating calipers on the rear axle, and also as standard, the M2 gets an active M differential that works together with the DSC system and can generate a locking effect of up to 100% to optimize traction, depending on things such as the drive torque, wheel speed, vehicle speed, or the steering angle. Now, before we talk what it's like to drive the refreshed M2 on our favorite back road, let's take a look inside and talk about the interior space. Okay, inside the G87 M2. Now, what we see here is a typical BMW interior. Pretty simple design, driver-focused cockpit, decent quality materials, low sitting position, and plenty of space for the front seat occupants. What I really like about this cabin too is the storage. We get a pretty usable center console with a wireless charger, 2 cup holders, pretty decent sized door pockets, and a practical trunk, so unlike with some performance coupes, there are no compromises here when it comes to usability. Now, following current trends, the designers took a minimalistic approach to an extreme with the G87, and we no longer have physical HVAC controls or other buttons, but on a bright side, the new iDrive 8.5 infotainment system is pretty intuitive, has a beautiful interface, and it still comes with a controller and shortcut buttons for most commonly functions. Now, one thing I cannot get over though is the gauge cluster. BMW used to make one of the most beautiful dials, simplistic in their nature, and what we get now is, well, I'll just leave it there. At least the gauges are pretty customizable, so you can get all the important instruments and information that you need. The optional carbon bucket seats may not look comfortable at first, but they are phenomenal. They provide an amazing support, have adjustable bolsters, and you can easily take this car on longer trips. Now, while the front seats provide decent comfort, I cannot say the same thing about the back seat. I mean, the legroom is fine for a subcompact car, but if you're more than 6 feet tall, you'll complain about the headroom or lack thereof. Well, that was the cabin of the refreshed BMW M2, so let's get on our favorite back road now and see how it drives. Okay, driving the G87 M2 LCI. We're at one of the best places on earth, our favorite back road, so let's put the M2 into the M Sport mode. I have it pre-programmed, so we have powertrain in Sport Plus, suspension in Sport Plus, steering in Sport, brakes in Sport, sequential gear mode, and floor it. That's why I love this car. That S58 engine is one of the best 6-cylinder units on the market, and I just love it. BMW mastered their straight sixes, and this motor is a pure example. There is a hint of turbo lag, but once the engine gets going, it goes all the way up to 7,200 RPM, which is basically unheard of in today's world. As we go through corners, the car stays very planted, super stable, and it feels very neutral. It nicely rotates off throttle, it rotates under acceleration, so big kudos to BMW's engineers for tuning this in the best possible way. It feels like we have endless amount of grip, and we have Pilot Sports 4S's mounted on our tester, so yeah, you cannot ask for anything else. Like I said, the engine super smooth, very responsive, and works great with the ZA 8 HP unit that we have on board. Transmission is super quick, super sharp, has a great logic in automatic mode, and you know, it's a class of its own. Obviously not at the level of PDK from Porsche Cayman or a Tremec unit in the Corvette, but you know, it's a still great unit. Now, steering is quick. The car listens to you. It does exactly what you want it to do. But the problem I have with it is there's no feedback. You don't know when the front end starts losing grip, when the rear end starts to go a little bit too much and becomes loose. You only rely on G-forces in this thing. BMW really isolated this car, which is great when you daily it, but when you want to drive it aggressively, you want to feel more connected to the car, you want to be one with the car, and here, unfortunately, that's not the case. Things is getting a little rougher here, so let's put it very quickly into the M1 mode that I have pre-programmed with softer dampers. There's a noticeable body roll, but I cannot really complain. The brakes are also very good. They allow you to modulate the braking power precisely and inspire a lot of confidence. All right, as we slow down, let's talk about what it's like to drive the M2 on a daily basis. Like I said, you don't feel connected to the car, you don't get much feedback from it, but the good thing is when you daily it, it's super comfortable. I mean, you would think that the track tool like an M2 is gonna be very hard to live with, but that's not true whatsoever. The suspension, while stiff, it still very nicely absorbs all the road imperfection. The cabin is very well isolated, and you don't feel tired driving this car. You have a great, all-around vehicle that you can take to autocross, take to the racetrack, but you can very easily daily this. In the winter time, you're gonna put a good set of winter tires and you'll be fine. So technology on top of that works very great. We have all the safety systems that we expect in 2025, and using the car is also great. BMW makes one of the best software for cars, so yeah, I really like this thing. I just wish it provided a little bit more feedback, but who knows, maybe there's gonna be a CS version and it's gonna feel more raw. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say about the G87 M2, so let's head into the final thoughts and summarize it. Okay, summing up the G87 BMW M2. Now, just like with the pre-facelift model, I really like it and it has that dual personality that I love in cars. It's comfortable and practical as a daily, but you can also take it to your favorite back road, racetrack or autocross and have plenty of fun. And guess what? You're not even gonna be able to use its full potential on public roads. Now, the starting price of $65,000 can seem like a lot, but in this day and age, it's actually a pretty good proposition, and you can get a nicely equipped car for around $75,000. Anyways, if you guys have any questions, drop a comment and I'll answer them. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you all later.